Aloha. Today, I'm inviting you to a taste of traditional slacky guitar music offered up by George Kahumoku and two of his students. But first, I want to share a little history of Hawaiian slacky guitar. Back in 1793, Captain Vancouver brought a gift of long-horned cattle to King Kamehameha. The king, delighted with his gift, placed a kapu or taboo on their slaughter so they could multiply, and multiply they did. In about 50 years, over 10,000 wild cattle roamed the Big Island of Hawaii. Some Mexican vaqueros or cowboys answered a call for help and came with horses, saddles, and lariats, and taught the Hawaiians how to rustle up the cattle and herd them to market, which involved swimming them through shark-infested waters onto waiting ships bound for mainland markets. The vaqueros also brought guitars and small lutes, the forerunners of Hawaiian ukuleles. Imagine the amazement of native Hawaiians when they first listened to a melody accompanied by a man strumming a guitar, having heard only traditional chant accompanied by percussion on skin drums, gourds, and hollow logs. It must have been mind-blowing. Soon, the Hawaiians were begging the vaqueros to teach them how to play these extraordinary string instruments. After a day in the saddle, rounding up cattle. When the vaqueros left for Mexico, some were talked into leaving their guitars behind. It didn't take long for the Hawaiians to forget how to tune their new instruments, so they came up with their own tunings, typically an open tuning, which means a simple strum produces a chord. An open G tuning, called taro patch, is the most popular tuning, open C being other common choices. There are two advantages to these tunings. Fretting across the fingerboard will produce all the different chords needed for that particular key. Lowering or slacking the bottom keys produces a melodious sound and can have the effect of two guitars playing simultaneously. A classic slack key musician will frequently incorporate the techniques of hammering on, pulling off, and harmonics as well. The Hawaiian cowboys, or paniolos as they became known, of the Big Island began to create melodies for their favorite chants. As the missionaries made inroads into the culture, hymns were also adapted to the guitar by the paniolos. The Big Island is, well, big. Eventually, different villages or family groups came up with their own songs and their own tunings. Today, during a classic slack key guitar concert, the musician may change tunings a number of times in order to play songs from the different areas of the Big Island. The other day, I went to a concert put on by slacky guitar master George Kahumoku with a couple of his students on ukulele.
Sunny.
It's a special treat when someone on stage or in the audience, known to the band leader, is talked into an impromptu hula. Most Hawaiian youngsters learn the movements to many traditional Hawaiian chants or classic songs. These hulas are not forgotten and can be recalled with delight and humor.
Make the body so strong. How about that one more time? Back is strong and shoulders broad, and your smile makes her board. We're in up on a mountain high, jump on the shore and I'm still dry. Back is strong and the shoulders broad, ride the ocean on a big surfboard. We're in a mountain high, jump on the shore and I'm still dry. Tell the story. Hagi mai ko wanda la, ia mai au ka poela, a ma hoi hoi la, ki na hoi la. Hagi mai ko wanda la, ia mai au ka poela, a ma hoi hoi la, ki na hoi la, a ma hoi la, ki na hoi la.
Uncle George and friends were treated to a standing ovation at the end of the evening, a tribute to their mastery and their authentic generosity. I hope you enjoyed this little taste of Hawaiian slacky guitar, one of my favorite types of music. This is DiVine Conversations with Bonny Meyer. See you next time.